America thought it found the perfect money machine. Houses, prices kept rising, neighborhoods looked rich, and everyone believed the dream could never break. Families, workers, investors, and banks all wanted a piece of the housing boom. Buying a house started to feel like guaranteed profit. The pitch was simple: house prices never fall. And when people hear guaranteed money, they stop asking dangerous questions. Banks started approving loans faster than people could understand them. Low payments, easy paperwork, and big promises made risky debt look normal. But inside some of those loans was a timer. The payment could reset, the bill could rise, and the borrower might not survive it. He got the house. The keys felt like success. But behind the dream came something heavier: debt. Then homes stopped being homes and became lottery tickets. People bought houses just to flip them for more money. But the real money wasn't just in the houses. It was in the loans behind the houses. Wall Street bundled thousands of mortgages together and sold them as investments. Risky loans were turned into shiny financial products. Risk was wrapped up, polished, stamped safe, and sold around the world. But a safe label doesn't make a dangerous thing safe. As long as house prices kept rising, everybody got paid. Bankers, brokers, investors, and sellers all celebrated the same illusion. But the whole empire was standing on one block. Mortgages, banks, investors, debt, and trust were stacked higher and higher. That bottom block said, home prices never fall. And that block was a lie. Then prices stopped climbing. One price cut turned into many, and suddenly, confidence started turning into fear. When people couldn't pay, the signs started spreading: for sale, price cut, bank owned, foreclosure. Some payments jumped, and people who were already barely surviving got crushed by a bill they could no longer afford. They couldn't afford the loan, but they also couldn't sell the house for enough money. They were trapped. Foreclosures hit like a flood. One home after another fell back into the hands of the banks. And when mortgages failed, the investments built on them started shaking. The debt tower was losing its foundation. Suddenly, the safe investments didn't look safe anymore. Wall Street panicked. Banks stopped trusting each other because nobody knew who was holding the toxic debt. Fear spread faster than money. When credit froze, the economy started losing oxygen. Businesses needed loans, but the system had locked up. Businesses couldn't borrow. Workers lost jobs. The crisis jumped from Wall Street to Main Street. Then Lehman Brothers collapsed, and fear went global. The world realized this was not just a housing problem anymore. One country's housing bubble had turned into a global crisis. The shockwave moved through banks, markets, jobs, and families. But the people who felt it most weren't the bankers. They were regular workers, families, and homeowners. Millions watched the dream turn into a bill they couldn't escape. For many, the house was gone. The government faced a brutal choice: let the system burn or rescue it. Either way, regular people were already paying the price. The biggest banks were so connected that letting them fall could drag everyone down. That became known as too big to fail. The economy survived, but it didn't walk away healthy. It needed support, low rates, and time. Broke empire lesson: debt feels powerful when prices rise, but when income can't hold it, the empire cracks. That's why 2008 still matters. The names change, but the warning signs rhyme. The 2008 crash wasn't just about houses, it was about trust built on cards. And when trust disappears, even giants fall. That's how a housing boom became one of the biggest financial crashes in modern history. Follow Broke Empire for more stories about money, collapse, power, and the hidden systems behind every empire.